Okay, today is Friday the 14th. Friday the 14th. Okay, almost had a moment. We all know that the second installment of Colleen Hoover's It Ends With Us comes out the 18th in 4 days. In preparation for that, I decided that in today's vlog, I am going to pick back up It Ends With Us, and I am going to reread this and see what my thoughts are, and also just for a refresher before It Starts With Us comes out, because yes, I did pre-order the book. It will be here on the 18th, and I want to see how my thoughts align with it a year later, because I did read this book a year ago and it was one of my favorite books ever when I read it. I was very new back into like reading a lot. I've read my whole entire life, as we know, but I was really back into like reading all the time, so I wanted to pick it up and try it. I loved it so much, but the thing is as you read more books, as you grow older, your tastes change. So I really also wanted to revisit this to see if I still think that this is a 5-star book. Now, of course, I won't get the same exact feeling reading it, because you never quite get the same feeling rereading a book as you did the first time reading it, because for me, I didn't know literally anything about this book going into it. I've said multiple times how I literally thought that Ryle was like a 40-year-old man because he was a brain surgeon. I literally thought he was like in his 40s or 50s. With that being said, this is obviously going to be a spoiler reading vlog. Okay, this is going to be all spoilers in it. We are going to be discussing this book in full, and before we get into anything, just know that there is a trigger warning for domestic abuse when we are going into this video. If that is something that is triggering to you guys, it's okay. You guys can skip it on this video. Love you guys. And I'm a little ashamed to admit this, is that when I first read this book, I didn't know that it was about abuse before going into it. Like I said, knew nothing. So I just kind of thought that it was like Lily trying to get over her first love to be in a healthy relationship with Ryle. And then when the stuff starts popping up, I was literally like, we can move on from this. Like, we can move past this. And then it started getting bad, and I was like, okay, it is time to read It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. So I am about to start reading this. A few thoughts that I have is that I wonder if when rereading this, I am going to fall in love with Atlas, because I actually never like fully liked Atlas, and I don't know if it's because we were focusing so much on Ryle and Lily's relationship and not Atlas and hers. Like their relationship was more of like the past. Like I never really saw or felt a connection with them like in present day. So like once we got to the end of the book, and it was just kind of like I didn't really feel anything for Atlas, and like that's what the whole entire It Starts With This is about. I'm very interested to see if I do end up liking Atlas after this, because I don't like Ryle, but I also don't like Atlas. Like I just feel like she should move on to somebody completely new. That's an unpopular opinion that I have, I guess. Welcome to another clip of Destiny just sat and talked to the camera for a long time. Didn't even realize it wasn't recording. What I was saying was that rereading this line for the first time is such a unique experience, because I can remember exactly where I was when I read this book for the first time. And it says, "And father of Lily Bloom, the strange girl with the erratic red hair who once fell in love with a homeless guy." I remember when I first read that, I literally was like, oh, so she fell in love with like a random homeless guy. And then like when they introduced Atlas, I was like, what about the random homeless guy? And then I realized that Atlas was the random homeless guy, and I don't know, I guess it just doesn't fit for me. Like, I understand like why, but it just it's a very unique take for sure. See, I'm having very conflicted feelings, because rereading this, when Ryle goes up on the rooftop that Lily's at and he's like kicking this chair repeatedly because he's had a rough day, I'm like, that should have been a red flag. You know, like that should have already put the alarms up in my brain. But also, you know what, people take their aggression out in different ways, you know, like I can't judge. And I'm like, yeah, this should have been a red flag. But then like all that this man said was, "Will you please get down from there, Lily?" I'm like, and then I'm like, remember what he did. I know that it literally sits here and says how cheesy this line is, but I just literally, it says, "No one really knows. It's one of the great mysteries of Boston." He laughs and then looks at me inquisitively. "What's another great mystery of Boston? Your name?" Oh my god. Why? Literally, when I just read that, I was like, literally, if someone said that to me, and it's Lily who says this, it's not Ryle, it's Lily, and I'm like, if anyone ever said that to me, I would be like, There are cheesy one-liners in Colleen Hoover books like that, but you know what? You just gotta kind of roll with the punches. There's no such thing as bad people. We're all just people who sometimes do bad things. It's really rich coming from you, Ryle. Very rich. And my thing is that like Lily is sitting here to a stranger, to each their own, telling Ryle about her traumatic past with her father. And I'm like, and the fact is that you wanted a relationship with this sweet girl after that, and then you treat her like absolute garbage. I don't know if I just like ignored this. Like when Ryle and Lily are talking about how Ryle doesn't want to get married and have kids, which to each their own. That is your decision, no matter who you are or what you want to do. And Lily goes, good Lord, that's insane. Are parents ever really happy with their children? Will they ever be good enough? Literally, he shakes his head. My children wouldn't be. Not many people have the drive I do, so I'd only be setting them up for failure. Then he goes, oh, I'm way too selfish to have children, and I'm definitely way too selfish to be in a relationship. We should have kept it that way. We should have kept it that way. Pretty sure right after this, doesn't he like go to her doorstep and yeah. Catching you in 4K right now because the math just isn't mathing. I forgot how much I love Alyssa like when she was first introduced into this book, but then she lets me down later on into the book. She is one of the better parts of this book. Also, I just read like the first journal entries with Atlas, and why am I bored? Why am I bored? I felt like that when I was reading the book for the first time too. I was like, I do not care about this man. I did not care about these journal entries. The only thing that I cared about was because I wanted more backstory on like her as a character. And also I did want the backstory because I didn't think Atlas was going to be prominent in like, you know, the present time. Can I be honest? Naked truth. I've read the like little snippets that Colleen has been posting like on Instagram. Why am I not feeling it? Why am I not feeling it? Like I've read them and I've just kind of been like, you know, I don't know. I feel bad. I can't believe that I thought that this was cute. He's knocking on her door and she opens the door. Jesus Christ, do you have any idea how many doors I've knocked on to find you? Like, first of all, that's not her problem. Second of all, this is weird behavior. If a guy that I had a conversation with twice, came knocking on my apartment and was like, oh, do you know how many apartment doors I've knocked on trying to find your apartment? I'd be like, I need to move. I need to move today, actually. I can't believe the first time I read this, I was like, ah. He literally stalked where she lives and like found her apartment just to beg her to sleep with him. Like, no, it's not it. It's just not it. 29 doors. He's literally so ew, like gives me the ick. He's literally like, these next couple of months are the most important months in my entire career. I have to be focused. I'm closing in on the end of my residency and then I'll have to sit in for my exams. For the past week, I haven't been able to get you out of my head and I don't know why. At work, at home, all I can think about is how crazy it feels when I'm near you and I need you to make it stop, Lily. Ew. Ew. For one, you're pressuring her. And two, you're literally doing it all just for you. Like, just for you. Ew. Ew. The more I'm reading... Get up. You're embarrassing yourself. Literally. This is embarrassing. So cringy and embarrassing. Is that a yes? No. Did the word yes come out of her mouth? No. Oh my god. That is so... OMG. I can't believe I'm reading this. This is disgusting. Like, I forgot. Oh my god. Oh my god, she's like, I don't really, like, I've been working all day. And he's like, take a shower, take all the time you need. This woman is not telling you yes. Do you not know how consent works? Ew, this is disgusting. We're at the scene where they're at Alyssa's birthday party. And so many thoughts at once. One, I wish that there was more of Devin in the book. Like, why didn't we get more of him? I hope that in the movie he's more of a prominent character, like an actual like best friend other than Alyssa for Lily, because I feel like his character would have done really good like as an actual like best friend outside of Alyssa, who is literally Ryle's sister, so you're never really like escaping that. Second of all, this freaking photograph. Oh my god, I forgot the picture that he took of her on the roof and then he literally blew it up and put it in a canvas in his house. No, because why are we doing that? And then the audacity of this man to be like, you brought a date, and then he's like, you brought a date, and then she's like, oh, I was just trying to make it easier on you, and he's like, oh, how thoughtful of you, Lily. Like, you guys have had 4 conversations, and each of those times you left her telling her like, I don't ever want to see you again, and then you're mad that she shows up with somebody to your sister's birthday party. Like, this isn't about you, Ryle. After he says how thoughtful of you, Lily, he tosses his empty wine glass toward a trash can in the corner of the room. He makes a shot, but the glass shatters when it hits the bottom of the empty container. For one, out of the 5, so this is the 5th interaction that they had. This is the 5th interaction. Out of the 5 times that you have seen this man and conversated with him, 2 of the times he has showed aggressive behavior. But I understand the whole entire point of this book is that it's supposed to showcase like abusive relationships and like how hard it is sometimes to like see those red flags. But like once you've already read the book and like rereading it, because when I first read this book, like I didn't see anything wrong with any of this, literally at all. But now when I'm rereading it, I'm like, I can't remember because I don't know if she ends up saying something, but whenever Lily and Alyssa like talk about her and Ryle, and she's like, are you mad at me, to Alyssa, and Alyssa's like, no, Lily, I know my brother and I love him, I really do, but, and then Ryle's like, but what? Because he like walks into the room, and I'm like, I wonder if she was about to like warn Lily, which I don't think Alyssa knew about like his abusive behavior before Lily comes to her later in the book, but I like, obviously like you can see the signs like of aggression and stuff in him, so I wonder if she was gonna like warn her about him, and then she like doesn't. I forgot about this line whenever the incident with Lily's dad, it's snowing outside and she has to go get stitches because she was trying to stop her mom and dad's fight. Then Atlas asks about it on the bus, and she's like, I fell, and then he shows her like his scars, and he's like, I used to fall a lot too, Lily. It's so sad. Why does it hurt so bad? I know that the time framing and this is a little weird. Like, they met 6 months later, she opens up the shop, and then he comes to the shop. They don't talk for like, what is it, 56 days or something, 53, 56 days. Then he shows up during her opening, and then later on that week they see each other at his sister's birthday party, and then they decide to like date. This is like their 7th interaction, and he's like, I think you're the best. You might just be the best thing that's ever happened to me. It's giving middle school relationship vibes. See, it's happening again because, one, I don't know if this is weird or if I'm just like looking at stuff to be weird, but like whenever he's asking her to like hang out, and then she's like, oh, I am going to dinner with my mom, and then he like invites himself, and then I'm just kind of like, okay, I don't know, like it's not that big of a deal. But and she tells Alyssa, your brother must really like me, and then she goes, yeah, I'm afraid he does, and then she like leaves. Reading back on this, I don't know how I didn't pick up on this when I read this book for the first time, that obviously she knows something about her brother, because she says like Ryle never wants to meet somebody's parent, but I'm like, obviously she knows that there's something about her brother that is a little bad. Not a little. But I mean, I don't think she really knew about how bad the behavior was. So like to her, it was just like, maybe he's a little bit of a douchebag, you know? She knew something was up. I wish we got a book about Marshall and Alyssa, because Marshall is one of the best parts about this book. Well, wait, does Marshall do something to make me mad at him later on? I can't remember. But it's the scene where they are wearing onesies, and then he like wants everyone to get beers because they're free, and then Alyssa's like, no, I can't. And he's like, shut up, and he starts like jumping up and down and telling everyone in the bar that he's gonna be a dad. Like, I think that's so cute. I love that. I wish that Marshall was like, can we get a Marshall and Alyssa book? Oh my gosh, not an enemies to lovers, brother's best friend. Can we really get a book about them? That seems so awesome. I just love Marshall and Alyssa. They're so cute. This quote just makes me so sad because of like how this story panned out, because everything could have been so good. One, if Ryle didn't behave like how he has behaved this far into the book, but when she gives Alyssa the steampunk flowers that she wanted, and she goes, I hope he marries you someday, we'll be even better sisters. Reading this scene when I know what comes next is so different from reading this and not knowing what came next when I read this for the first time. You know, I was like, everything's going so good. Like, he's about to have this big surgery. He doesn't use the glove for the casserole, which is his fault. And she's laughing, trying to make a light out of the situation with the casserole being all over the floor. He shoves her and does not even care that she hits her head and splits it, doesn't she? 15 seconds, that's all it takes to completely change everything about a person. 15 seconds that will never get back. Oh my god. And then he says, I'm sorry, I burned my hand, I panicked, you were laughing, and I'm so sorry, it all happened so fast, I didn't mean to push you, Lily, I'm sorry. And then she's like, I don't hear Ryle's voice this time, all I hear is my father's voice. And then like this moment when she's like, he's nothing like my dad, like he's nothing like him, I feel like that as a reader also just puts you in her shoes, which is a great job done by Colleen, that it just puts you in her shoes to be like, oh yeah, no, like it's just a stressful situation. Even though it's not right, it's just that like he would not do that just because he's super stressed out about the surgery and his whole entire career is his hand and he's so sorry, so it doesn't matter. And it's like, oh my gosh, I am kind of getting that feeling again of like when I read the book for the first time. Not that I want her to forgive him because I don't feel that way. The manipulation that they can put you through is real. Oh, they're at dinner with Alyssa and I know stuff is about to go down in this chapter because I think that this is when Atlas is at the restaurant and like him and Ryle get into an argument. But Alyssa's like, oh, you guys are so cute. And then she like, cause Lily has like the scar on her forehead. Oh, it's on her eye. And then she's like, Ryle told me what happened. I didn't think it was that bad. And then Ryle was like, yeah, oh yeah, olive oil was everywhere. Like, she slipped. And then she was like, a lie. Like, he lied. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it's like, I forgot this part because, you know, she finds out that Atlas is like the owner of the restaurant and the chef. And she says, the next 5 seconds go unnoticed by everyone at our table, but they play out in slow motion to me. Atlas's eyes fall to the cut on my eye, the bandage wrapped around Ryle's hand, back to my eye. Because he knows. How he literally goes into the bathroom and he's like, what happened? Oh, maybe I do like Atlas. When he's like, what happened? Nothing. You're lying, Lily. It was an accident. Atlas laughs, then his face falls flat. Leave him. Literally my thoughts exactly. Maybe I do like Atlas. I never disliked Atlas. It was just that I didn't feel anything towards him. Oh, no. I know that he didn't. Because she's like, he's not like that, Atlas. It wasn't like that. Ryle is a good person. And then he goes, funny, you sound just like your mother. Oh, she said Atlas is wrong about Ryle. I just wish Atlas knew he was wrong. Because he's not. And I wish that he was. I wish that Atlas was wrong about Ryle. Well, not because, like, I don't want, I'm like, no, I'm saying that, like, I don't want her to, you know, have to go through abuse. Like, I wish that it wasn't true, but, like, it is. See, this is where the book got me so confused, and it has been confused now because, like, you know what Ryle's gonna do. Like, you know, and you're just like, ugh. But then you read this part about like when his mom comes into town and like how everyone's getting along so well. And then, you know, Alyssa's like, I can't wait for you guys to get married. And she's like, I would marry him tonight. And then he's standing in the doorway and he's like, let's go to Vegas and get married. Like, I just want to marry you. And then he's like, I'm so excited to be your husband. Like, it was just so cute. Why did we have to ruin it? It's so, that moment was so cute. Like, just that moment. Like, take away everything else. That moment was so, like, see, this is what I mean. I'm not saying it with a smile on my face. I'm saying it with aggression. When he finds the phone number in the back of her phone and he's like, you know, getting angry. And then this just breaks my heart when she's like, there's a 3-second pause where I think this could go one of two ways. He's going to leave me or he's going to hurt me. And he tries to tell her that you fell, Lily, you fell. I genuinely can't stand this man. You fell down the stairs, but I didn't fall. He pushed me again. That's twice. See, this is where, like, Alyssa calls Lily and she's like, oh my gosh, like, you had me so whatever. And she's like, me and Ryle got into a fight. He broke my phone. And then she gets to the shop and Alyssa is sitting there with Ryle and holding his hands and like talking to him. And then she looks at Lily and she's like, Ryle, what did you do? And then she's like, tell her, Ryle, like, before I do, like, it's your wife, she deserves to know. Like, the fact that you see the marks on Lily and you're just going to excuse that because of a traumatic incident that he went through as a child, that does not excuse his behavior, and it is very wrong. And in this moment, I feel like Alyssa is very much in the wrong because you know something's going on and you're just still making excuses for him. This is not Alyssa's best moment at all. But just please, as my sister-in-law and my best friend, give my brother a chance to talk to you. As your sister-in-law and best friend, you should be looking at her and going, no, absolutely not. I don't care what he's been through. you cannot be with someone who puts their hands on you. I have so much. Okay, so when he's telling her about the incident with his brother, I would never tell you this because I want it to excuse my behavior. Really? Really, Ryle? Then why are you saying it then? And I know that people will be like, because he's explaining that when he gets angry, he blacks out. No, like, let's just be for real. He's saying this because he wants to excuse the behavior and make her feel sympathy for him. And then he's like, you're my wife. I'm supposed to be the one who protects you from the monsters. I'm not supposed to be one. You're right in that aspect, Ryle. You're not right about a lot, but you are right about that. The thing about this book is that I've said it, I think multiple times already, but it's like showcasing how abuse is in a relationship and how you kind of just keep on making up excuses because you want to see the good in somebody when you really truly care about somebody. And how when she's going, but Ryle's not my dad. He donates to charity and he's compassionate and he loves me. And it's like, especially trauma like that when you have seen abuse growing up and you have witnessed it and been firsthand, and you're like, no, like, he could never be him. He's not exactly like my dad, so it's not that. And you're just so badly like wanting something good out of this. It's heartbreaking to read because you as the reader, especially if you've already read this book, like, know what's going to happen, and it just gets so much worse. Oh god, I'm like reliving reading this part for the first time and like how my heart dropped whenever he's like reading the diary and he asks, like, he's like, where'd you get this magnet? Naked truth. Where'd you get the magnet, Lily? Oh my god. Oh, and then he makes her read the article because Bibs stands for better in Boston, and the, you know, the magnet says everything's better in Boston, and they ask him about the story behind the name, and he's like, it's a long story. It was a homage to somebody who had a huge impact on my life, someone who meant a lot to me. She still means a lot to me. And literally, Ryle is being so disgusting right now. When asked if the girl was aware he named a restaurant after her, Chef Corrigan smiled knowingly and said, next question. Ryle saying, why is he still here, Lily? He's in everything. The magnet on the fridge, the journal in the box I found in your closet, the tattoo on your body. And she's begging him not to hurt her. It's literally so... I'm pretty sure like this was one of the huge turning points for me when reading the book. I was like, oh god, like, just this sick to your stomach feeling you get when you read this part. She doesn't deserve it, you know. And then she feels like she can't call her mom because she knows what her mom's been through and she knows what this will do to her mom. Oh, I forgot she calls Atlas. Oh, Atlas, I need help. Oh my gosh. Oh, and she says, text me when you get here, please don't knock. Oh my gosh. And he goes, Lily. And he whispers, I've never heard my name spoken so sadly. Oh, I forgot that they go to the hospital. I can remember when I read this for the first time, I was really hoping that like they went to the hospital and she was gonna leave Ryle right then and there, and that her and Alice were gonna be together. And I forget that they check her out and they tell her that she's pregnant. I forgot that they do. Oh my god. Oh god. It's just because, like, I just know, like, in that moment, you just probably feel so trapped because, you know, her plan was probably, like, I'm gonna leave him. And then when you hear that you're pregnant, you just feel so trapped because you feel like you have to, like, give it a fighting chance for your kid. Oh, she goes, do you live alone? Are you hungry? Because he lied because she said that she had known Ryle for a year and he just made up a random girl because he didn't know what else to say. He was sitting in the chair making sure that she slept okay through the night. Oh my god. This book didn't even affect me this much the first time I read it. When Atlas admits that like Cassie never existed because he just wanted Lily to be happy and he didn't think that he was good enough for her, and then he leaves and he knocks on the okay, period. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, guys, you just have to see how freaking cute. Look at her, she's so cute. Oh, I love her. What I was saying was that he tells her that Cassie never existed because he didn't think he was good enough, and then he like makes sure that nobody's in the apartment because Ryle left for England. Thank god. He leaves and then he knocks on the door and he literally goes, Lily, I know this is the last thing you need to hear right now, but I have to say it because I've walked away from you too many times without saying what I really want to say. In the future, if by some miracle you ever find yourself in the decision to fall in love again, fall in love with me. You're still my favorite person, Lily, and you always will be. you're ever in the position to love again, fall in love with me. Oh my god. And it's like the fact that he was like not rushing her. He's just like, if you ever feel that way again, just please like fall in love with me. See, here's my thing about Alyssa is that I do love her because I feel like, and she really cares about Lily. Like I don't question for a second that she really cares about Lily. When I'm finished telling her everything, we're both crying. She hasn't responded to what I've told her with anything other than the occasional, oh, Lily. She doesn't have to respond though. Ryle's her brother. I know she wants me to take his past in consideration, just like the last time it happened. I know she'll want me to work things out with him because that's her brother. We're supposed to be one big happy family. I know exactly what she's thinking. But guess what? Because I remember this part. Guess what she says? This is where I love Alyssa, because she goes, my brother loves you, Lily. He loves you so much. You have changed his entire life and have made him someone that I never thought he could be. As his sister, I wish more than anything that you could find a way to forgive him. And I remember reading this and I was like, girl. But then she goes, but as your best friend, I have to tell you that if you take him back, I will never speak to you again. It takes a moment for her words to register, but when they do, I start sobbing. She starts sobbing. She wraps her arms around me and we cry over the mutual love we have for Ryle. We cry over how much we hate him right now. She says, you're the best friend I've ever had. She nods. I know, and now I'm going to be the best aunt. I hope it's a girl. Our daughters can be besties. Lily, we both spin around to find Marshall standing in his doorway. His eyes are on my stomach, on Alyssa's hand, still on my stomach. He tilts his head. He points at me. Lily, do you realize you're pregnant? And then Alyssa calmly walks to the door, puts her hand on the doorknob. There are some things you are never ever to repeat if you want to keep me as your wife. This is one of those things. Understood. Yes, okay, got it. Lily is not pregnant. I love Marshall and Alyssa. Can I have a book of them? See, I don't know at this point if Marshall knew, because, you know, Lily sees that Ryle's home and she's really caught off guard and scared, and he's like, I'm not gonna hurt you, Lily, I'm just here to talk to you. He swings the door open wider and points to the living room. Look. He steps aside and my eyes fall to someone standing behind him. Now I'm the one who feels betrayed. Marshall immediately holds up his hands in defense. I had no idea he was coming home early, Lily. Ryle texted me, asked for my help. He specifically told me not to say anything to you or Alyssa. Please don't let her divorce me. I'm simply an innocent bystander. At least you can make this moment enjoyable. I asked him to meet me here so you'd feel more comfortable talking to me. He's here for you. He's not here for me. This is why we stand Marshall. I glance back at Marshall and he nods. It gives me enough reassurance to enter the apartment. But does Marshall know? Did Alyssa... They had to have told Marshall. I think that they told Marshall about the whole entire story, and that, you know, Marshall's like, I'm here to protect my girl, Lily. She says naked truths, and he goes, I don't even know where to start, Lily. And she goes, how about you start with, I'm sorry I attacked you. You have no idea what I've been through these past 2 months. Be so for real, Ryle. Be so for real. I know you're not looking at Lily and saying you don't know what you've been through these past 2 months. And then she like goes to leave and she goes, I wish this baby wasn't yours, Ryle. With everything that I am, I wish this baby was not a part of you. And she goes, I thought if I could have just hurt him like he had hurt me, I would feel avenged. I don't. Instead, I feel vindictive and mean. I feel like I'm my father. Lily having a talk with her mom, telling her about Ryle. Her mom going, if Ryle truly loves you, he wouldn't allow you to take him back. He would make the decision to leave you himself so that he knows for a fact he can never hurt you again. That's the kind of love a woman deserves, Lily. Her mom says, the day you gave your father's eulogy, I know you didn't freeze up, Lily. You stood at that podium and refused to say a single good thing about that man. It was the proudest I've ever been of you. You were the only one in my life who ever stood up for me. You were strong when I was scared. Be that girl, Lily, brave and bold. This is the part when she's having the baby and he's like, it's a girl, Lily, we have a daughter. I can remember reading this part and being like, what's gonna happen? Is she gonna leave him or is she gonna stay with him? And it goes, I look at Emerson and I look at Ryle and I know that I have to do what's best for her, for the relationship I hope she built with her father. I don't make this decision for me and I don't make it for Ryle. I make it for her. And I remember thinking that she was gonna take him back. I remember being like, oh, she's gonna take him back. Like, why did we even talk about Atlas if she's gonna take him back? And then she goes, Ryle, when he glances at me, he's smiling, but when he assesses the look on my face, he stops. I want a divorce. Ryle, what would you do if one of these days this little girl looked up at you and she said, Daddy, my boyfriend hit me? What would you say to her? Stop, Lily. What if she came to you and said, Daddy, my husband pushed me down the stairs. He said it was on accident. What should I do? What would you say to her, Ryle? Tell me. I need to know what you would say to our daughter if the man she loves with all her heart ever hurts her. I would beg her to leave him. I would tell her that she is worth so much more, and I would beg her not to go back. No matter how much he loves her, she's worth so much more. That's what 15 minutes can do to a person. It can destroy them and it can save them. Kiss her forehead and make her a promise. It stops here with me and you. It ends with us. There's something I forgot to do. I'll see you when I pick her up tonight. Atlas. Oh, I forgot to tell you Emerson's middle name. It's Dory. Lily, I feel like my life is good enough for you now, so whenever you're ready. I suddenly feel like I'm 15 again, but I'm not 15. I'm an adult with responsibilities and a child. Do you donate to charity? Several. Why? Do you ever think you'll want to leave Boston? No, never. Everything is better here, remember? You can stop swimming now, Lily. We finally reached the shore. This book didn't even affect me like this when I read it for the first time. I can still say that this book still stands as a 5-star book for me. It does, and I'm not gonna apologize for that. This book, I just feel like I love so much, and it holds a special place in my heart. I do say that I wasn't like necessarily very like super duper excited for It Starts With Us, just because I feel like I did like stuff kind of started getting a little foggy. Reading this book definitely made me very excited. I feel like it would be wrong to not talk about my fan cast for the movie. So for young Lily, I definitely would want it to be Sadie Sink. I feel like she would kill it in that role. For present day Lily, I feel like everyone fan casts that one girl that she's a show on Netflix. I think, is she on the Winx or something on Netflix? I would love for Atlas to either be, is he the kid from Percy Jackson? Logan Lerman plays Percy Jackson in the movies. I really like him as Atlas. And then I think that Ryle, I think that, gosh, what's his name? Jacob Elordi would do really good as Ryle, just because we've seen him be Nate on Euphoria. That is it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, please like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff that you guys know how to do. And I will see you guys when I see ya. I'll see you guys for It Starts With Us reading vlog next week. Be ready for it. Okay. Kisses. See you when I see ya. Peace.